All right, guys. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Did you know the word for tightrope walking is funambalism? And it's from the Latin ambalism, meaning to walk, and fun, meaning in the worst possible place. I don't know how that worked out that way. So it's a definition that proved well for Jorge Guzman, who lived on a tightrope for 206 days. Still the world's record for living on a tightrope. Guzman hadn't intended to break the record, but after realizing he was in Orlando, Florida, it took seriously, it took that long to convince him it was safe to come down. So as 206 days of fear will pretty much manifest itself into reality, he was actually mugged 15 minutes later. So it is what it is. Sorry, Jorge.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Hacking the Infinity Matrix, episode number 36. Redefining life balance and propel your success in life. Today, we're going to deliver two hacks, but we're going to be sneaky today. They're going to be hidden, and you may not even catch them consciously. All right. In fact, the more you try to find them consciously, the more they'll elude you, and they'll just take effect on your unconscious. So just wait until I reveal what the hack is a little later on. All right. So let's start with some logistics. If you're just joining us here on the stream, go ahead and tell us, where are you coming in from? We love to hear. Okay, we got Demetrius. Hey, buddy. And
there you go, Demetrius.
Go ahead and let us know where you're chiming in from. It helps us out. Also, it helps us out, guys. It helps us out with the Facebook algorithm, so that the more we get initial interaction right off and also throughout the stream, the more that Facebook sees this as valuable content, or content that people find is valuable, and it shares it, and it shows it in more places organically. So you're really helping us out here if you just kind of give us some thumbs up, some emojis, just give us some quick comments in the comment section. So and plus, we really love to hear how we are expanding our global reach. I'm coming to you live from just outside Vancouver, Canada. Ross is just outside Seattle, Washington. So let's see where everybody's coming in from. Don't be shy. Go ahead and let us know where you're from. And it's also nice for you guys to see, the audience and the community. Look at that. Or we got Ireland, we got Minnesota, Northern Ireland, Minnesota. Thank you for that, guys. We really appreciate that. Idaho, awesome. UK, all right. We got someone else in Seattle there, Ross.
Yeah, there
nice.
We go.
Florida. Hey. All right, welcome. That's what we like to see, guys. All right, so if you are coming on for the first time, go ahead and let us know by typing in #first time so we can properly greet you. Ross and I do our best to come in after the streams to kind of respond to every comment. So whether you're watching this now or you're watching this later, the #first time lets us know that's your first time here. So we like to welcome you into the community and the stream. Now, we are streaming this to a variety of different places. And so if you don't have the option of doing a share, a like, or a comment on there, whatever option you have to interact with us, please do. We do come back and check them out after.
Yeah, and Gary, let's also add the fact that we are now streaming on YouTube.
That's right, and I don't think I have to dig up the link. I forgot to do that.
Okay, so we're not streaming on YouTube.
Well, we are streaming. I just didn't.
We are. Okay.
We are streaming there. I just don't have the link for them to go and subscribe to the channel.
So just I put out some reminders before, but if you're not, if you are on YouTube or have a YouTube account, please go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Again, as Gary said earlier, that just helps with the algorithm to kind of build our reach. Once we get to a particular landmarks or goals, then they allow us to do more things as well. So there's a lot of stuff I'd like to do, but we just haven't grown that community yet. So we'd really appreciate, just go in, click like, ring the bell, and that would be awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks,
yeah.
Rick.
So before we get into the content today, Ross, I think, let me just remind everybody, we'd like to invite you to our Down the Rabbit Hole segment Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. PST. All right, that's 8 a.m. PST. It's growing every week. The conversations are going all over the place, some deep, some light, some off tilt, and so
That's a good way to put it.
we're even finding, some are even finding that it's becoming one of their favorite hours to block off in their week. Down the Rabbit Hole, if you don't know yet, is where we invite you to join us in a live Zoom interaction where we discuss and explore all kinds of thought-provoking topics, concepts, philosophies. So basically, it's really an open platform where we all can have a discussion that starts off on one topic, and we'll talk about what that is. We'll give you that idea of what we're going to start off with for Saturday. And then it goes down many rabbit holes. It's wherever whoever shows up, wherever you feel that it needs to go. So you may have something you want a question that you have, or a specific topic that you have some insight on, or things that are going on, in society that our awareness is on, and we need to bring to some kind of conversation around it. So it's really just that we talk about just about anything Infinity Matrix related. All right. It's also a great time for and place to come if you have any questions about today's stream or any of the other previous streams we've done. All you have to do is just go to the link. I'm going to just throw it up here. So join us for live stimulating conversation, hackingtheinfinitymatrix.com/rabbit hole. And you just register for the Zoom link there. You'll get the Zoom link emailed, and then you can jump in and join us Saturday morning, 8 a.m. PST.
Yeah,
if you're craving stimulating, insightful, and super fun conversations, you want to zoom in on this call, because it's a lot of fun. So head over to that link and register, and we'll see you then. Okay, so let's go do this. And when I saw the wording for it, Ross, my pronunciation was funambulism. Thing. So let's do this funambulism thing. I mean, it's got to be fun, right? Because it starts off with the word fun, and who doesn't want to do something that starts with fun?
Well, I'll tell you, when I saw it too, I had the exact same comment or thought process, and then I started looking it up and such. I'm like, how can that mean the worst possible? How did that word in over time, over centuries, get translated into from the worst possible thing to the best possible thing? I'm like, okay, it is what it is. So let's just imagine that you're on a rooftop and you're looking across the empty air, and you're 1,350 feet above the ground. Your foot dangles over the ledge and touches a steel cable just centimeters wide. And as you shift your body forward, your hands are gripped tightly around a balancing pole. You find yourself suspended over a gut-wrenching void. Has anyone done this? Put it in the comments if you've done some sort of balancing or tightrope. I know there's a lot of programs out there where you are actually on a tightrope. And acrophobic, which is the fear of heights. Acrophobics would surely hope to wake from this nightmare and definitely be waking in a cold sweat. But for seasoned tightrope walkers, the dizzy feat, the surreal act of doing this can be accomplished if you understand physics and the human body. So, with posture as the absolute most important thing, the key to balancing on a tightrope is to lower the body's center of gravity towards the wire. Just as it's harder to topple a stout vase, it's harder to topple a stout vase than a tall, slim one. A human is less likely to fall if the bulk of their mass is closer to the ground, or in this case, closer to the wire. And I said, and Gary, you're a black belt. Isn't this kind of an important factor in that realm?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in Kung Fu, we call it grounding. And when done right, a person can become virtually unmovable in one moment and then flow and glide across the ground in the next.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. So likewise, we need to keep in mind that the world around us is in a constant state of motion. A person on the wire has to remember that the wire itself tends to rotate. Each step along the cable invites it to spin underfoot, potentially throwing the walker off balance. So to keep from falling, the walker must increase something called rotational inertia, and effectively positioning the body so that it counters the wire's want to rotate. So similar to what we've talked about in earlier live streams about observe, interpret, and respond. So like you, the walker observes his environment and interprets its response to his actions, and the walker then responds with the necessary corrections in weight distribution. But is he actually in balance? This would imply he is symmetrical and equally weighing the same from side to side, when in actuality, he or she is in a constant state of imbalance, moment by moment, adjusting and correcting with his or her actions. And just as the walker develops their skills and sets the criteria for what is required for a successful endeavor, we too have our own set of parameters for an effective balance in life. Now, mind you, I didn't say balanced life. I said effective balance in life. In other words, how much variance can or will you allow? How far to the right or left can you be off balance without inviting disaster? Along with that, how far will you allow your wire to dip down or to flex up? It's almost like a tunnel. So like the state of your reality, the state of the wire itself can also play a role in the walker's ability to successfully cross it. In the ideal scenario, the wire would be infinitely tight. And the more slack in the wire, the more likely it's to undulate under your feet as you take each cautious step, making it harder to balance. So as the experienced and the trained walker says, I knew I was in my element and I knew the wire, and it was safe enough for me to carry on. And then, very slowly as I walked, I was overwhelmed by a sense of easiness, a sense of simplicity. Guys, this is the state of mind. It's like a form of ecstasy. It envelops us like a warm blanket, bringing comfort and an intense feeling of satisfaction. Something we want more of, something we strive for. Tightrope walking is a science as well as an art. And like so many of the things that we've become enthralled with and can't get enough of, we do them so much, so well, they become second nature within our scope of our reality. Yet, as with many behaviors, there are others that are not so wonderful nor satisfying, as they hold you down and they hold you back. The deep, dark ones that most of us are not even aware of. They're the ones that have their own control of our behavior and your life's outcomes. This is when art becomes anarchy. Our preference for you is to learn the art of designing your reality, the art of taking control of your outcomes and living in a constant state of ecstasy. So just like healthcare professionals they actually use a tightrope, walking itself as a tool to detect early muscle degradation with some of their patients. So you can use this analogy that I've explained today to determine the proper balancing throughout your own life. Physical therapists state that moving on a solid ground masks oncoming muscular issues. But with regular tests on tightropes, where movement is much more difficult, specialists can identify issues before they become problematic. So what does this say to you? Get on the proverbial tightrope and get out of your comfort zone so that you can see where you're off balance. Then choose to accept, delete, or correct them. But even for those who are able-bodied, the stress and the pressure of walking high off the ground along a thin wire with no safety net are enough to keep all but the truly determined grounded for all eternity.
All right, I want to jump in here and join in on this funambulism. First of all, I want to let everyone know that we've actually begun the Infinity Matrix hack today without even mentioning it. Okay, well, I did mention it at the beginning, but not officially, right? So let me pull the curtains, if you will, and expose the wizard. One of the most powerful ways of hacking the Infinity Matrix is by using externally focused metaphors. And when you do that, you can code in experiences and learnings that that will have completely different impact on each and every one of you, while you all think you're listening to and getting the same experience or content. You see, when we tell you a story or a metaphor, your other than conscious mind gets fully engaged in the story, the drama, the whole visualization experience of it without any resistance. And especially if you stick with the metaphor and consider the details that are being told. However, no metaphor has the exact same meaning for everyone listening. So even while Ross is talking about the tightrope and walking and talking about grounding and talking about these different things and the balance and those kinds of things, everyone here listening is getting your own interpretation, your own meanings out of that, right? So what happens is that you will make meaning of the element you need in order to have the shift, change, or adjustment, or even transformation that you need in this moment. And the next time you listen, it's different. So for example, if you come back and catch this on the replay, you may get a completely different transformation going on for you because you're coming at it from a different perspective, different place, different time, and really a different you, right? In fact, this is going to be the entrance into Down the Rabbit Hole on Saturday, right? We're going to talk about how metaphors can make massive shifts in our perception, in our lives, in our communication, in our relationships, you name it.
And we might even get Gary on a tightrope. That's my goal.
I've done crazier things, so you never know.
That's why I said you.
So make sure you come and join us and see where the conversation goes. Remember, it's Saturday at 8 a.m. PST, and you can register on the Zoom call. Let me just throw that up again. Right there. Let me take that off. Okay, you can register on the Zoom call. Just go there and just come and join us. Just register. You'll get the Zoom link, and the more the merrier. So hope to see you all there. All right. So back to this metaphor, Ross. This funambulism. Most of us can relate with the idea of walking a tightrope through life sometimes, right? I mean, you're working hard at trying to navigate just the right balance so that we don't fall and hurt ourselves mentally, emotionally, or even physically. We get it, right? We've been there. It's that fear of the unknown that creeps up and whispers in your ear all the self-doubt, all the limited beliefs that can rob you of some truly transformational encounters, right? In fact, in the 7-day program, The Art of Designing Your Reality, we tell students that the unknown is your friend. There's nothing to be fearful of. It's the unknown that holds within it the mystery and the wonders of everything you've ever wanted and never got. I mean, if you think about it, and you only wanted to experience the known stuff, then everything would be boring because you knew it already. Everything you have, all you ever have, is all you'll ever have, right? So what we're suggesting is that you start to search for opportunities to embrace the unknown. Let it keep you off balance. Let it keep you alert and fresh every moment on your path, right? And then sense those times when the gap from the reality you're experiencing to the reality you prefer is right in front of you. And the only way across is to leap. I know sometimes life can feel like you're even on not just a tightrope, but another way it can feel sometimes like you're on a series of trapeze swings, right? We've got the circus theme going on because it's fun, right? It's funambulism. Right? All right. So you're on a trapeze and you're swinging back and forth like a pendulum, right? Each swing taking you through the gradients of polarity is good, bad, happy, sad, healthy. Isn't there a song that goes good?
Now.
Love, hate. I mean, you name it. Whatever the pendulum is based on the polarities of life that you experience, right? So whatever it is, you name it. While you may seem sometimes in moments to get stuck on the less than positive side, and then other times not wanting to end when it's on the more enjoyable swing. Well, that's how you experience all the flavors of life. You can't have one without the other. It's not a this or that. Remember, we always talk about in stream after stream. It's this and that, right? And that too, and then to be in a place of choice. Because I can assure you that the last thing you want on a trapeze is balance, okay? Because that would mean, right? You're in the center. There is no movement, and all you'd be doing is hanging on for dear life. And how many of you have been working at trying to find balance in life, and you find that the more you work on trying to find balance, the more it's like you're hanging on for dear life? right? It's better if you find ways to master your art of hanging on and knowing when to let go to soar through the air to the next bar when the momentum pulls you there. Right. The problem is that many people have is that they hang on for dear life to the bar, hanging on to the bar, and they get familiar with it. Right. They get so familiar with it, they don't want to let go. And so what happens is they miss opportunities. They get stuck. They get tired. And they lose life momentum.
Happens all the time.
Right? And what you need to do is keep the momentum on each swing. This way or that way. This way or that way. And as you're going through the gradient of paradigm of polarities, right? You can decide moment by moment which one you resonate with, which one is right for where you're at to evolve, to grow, to expand, to be a better you. Right? And then at times you'll be able to look into the distance and lock in on that other trapeze bar swinging towards you. And when you see that it's vacant, it's got your name on it, and it's inviting you to a new experience, then you have to decide to just at just the right moment to let go of the one you're familiar with, and then use your positive momentum to fly into the unknown. Fly through the air and claim the new trapeze that has your name on it. And that's when you'll feel truly alive. Right? You'll know in your heart of hearts that this is the way to grow, to have more fulfillment in life. Yeah, sure. The first time, right? The first time, it might seem a little scary. But what happens is the more you do it, the easier it gets. Just like on the tightrope, right? The first time it goes off the ground, a little nervous, a little scared. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, because you start to trust in yourself. You start to trust in your what I call your knowing place, and understand that it's okay to redefine your life balance moment by moment. Use whatever momentum you've been given or you've created for yourself to transition from one reality to another. And knowing that you can always go back to the familiar bars, okay? You can always swing back to those ones because you're familiar with them, right? Until they no longer serve your higher purpose anymore, right? And the way Ross and I see it, right, is that there are really no guarantees except these five, okay? There's 5 life guarantees in life. One is you exist, okay? Otherwise you wouldn't be here and this would be irrelevant to you, okay?
Write that down.
That's the first thing. We can guarantee that you exist because you're here and you're experiencing something, someplace, at some time. Something is happening, which is, again, comes back to the definition of the infinity matrix, right? And something is happening, right? So we've talked about this on other streams. You exist. There's no denying of that, okay? 2, everything you need to experience existence is here now, right now, okay? There is no past. There is no real future, if you will. There's only now. That's guaranteed, right? What's the saying is that yesterday was a canceled check. Tomorrow is a post-dated check. Today is the only real currency you can claim, right? The now is the only currency you can claim, right? 3, third guarantee in life is the one is the all and the all is the one. Meaning that the internal matrix, like what's going on inside for you, right, is a direct reflection of the external matrix, what's going on all around you. Okay? Whatever is out there is in here, because you only experience it in here. We can't experience it out there. We can have an experience of what is out there, but we can only experience it in here. Right? So that cannot exist without this. Right, and there's a lot of different ways this is taught in, by mystics and spiritual teachers and growth practitioners throughout the decades and eons of us evolving. Okay, as above, so below. I mean, the list goes on. All right. So, guarantee number 4: since you exist, and everything needed for you to exist is here and now, and there is no out there without there also being an in here experience, right? The 4th guarantee is that what you put out is what you get back, right? So the vibrational frequency that you radiate most consistently and congruently is what you get back as the experience that you have moment by moment. And because existence requires change to have experience, all right? Otherwise, nothing happens, right? So you need to have change for an experience. Then the 5th guarantee is that everything changes except the first 4 guarantees. Okay? So that means that when you're on the tightrope, that means that when you're on the trapeze swinging through life, that there is no safety nets. There's no insurance policy, right? There is no assured prediction of what's going to happen. There's no perfect scenario. There's no guarantee that things are going to be pleasant. But guess what? When that old trapeze bar leaves you tired and drained, you have to muster up the energy to swing anyways, right? Right? And then in that swinging, to look for the approaching bars anyways, to let go, to fly into the unknown and reach for the bar with your name on it anyways. It's how we exist, it's how we live. So you're either swinging to that new bar of choice, or you're letting go and dropping down to another bar that gives you more of the same and goes deeper and deeper into that. Right? Now, when you're swinging, remember, it's okay to be okay in that unknown space. It's a place of complete possibilities. It's like a hallway of infinite options. And the only key you need to open any of the doors is the clarity of your intent, which, by the way, is what we're going to be talking about on next week's topic, on next week's live stream. Okay? This unknown zone, when you're in there, is the only real place that transformation can be instigated, explored, and even cultivated. And this transition between the bars of reality, from where you are to where you want to be, that transition, right? There can also be moments of true enlightenment. And you just may learn how to fly. And with that, we'll let those 2 metaphors or hacks affect or impact you in just the way that's right for you at this time. Okay? And we'd like to thank you for joining us on the stream today, for participating, for throwing your likes, your thumbs up, and when the other thing we'd like to ask is that when you listen to our streams and you get the hacks, we'd like to hear what's going on. What kind of results do you get from it? How does this impact you? right? We love to hear those kinds of things because we're not just saying this for the sake of putting content out there. We really want to create an impact and change. And so if we know that the content we're giving you is creating these shifts, us more momentum. It gives us more incentive to kind of bring more of that to the table for you. Right? It also lets other people know that it's possible instead of them standing on the sidelines and observing and watching and listening and saying, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll do that another day. By you coming back and letting us know on the streams how that particular stream, those particular lessons, that particular hack has impacted you, right? You're creating a deeper impact in the matrix beyond what you can be conscious of. Okay, because as you've seen, we have a global reach. So something you say may impact someone across the world, right? Because of your example or of your experience, and then that impacts them, and they create something, they report, and it impacts someone else, and it has this butterfly effect, right? So we ask that not only do you come and join us every Thursday and join us on the rabbit hole, but also participate and do these hacks, right? Let these metaphors sink, because at the unconscious level, they're processing, they're doing things, they're creating shifts and adjustments in perception, in the way that your mind organizes and creates things for exactly what you need, even though everybody heard the same metaphors or thinks that they heard the same metaphor, right? So that's our stream for today. We'd like to thank you for joining us on the stream today and every Thursday. Remember that we do have replays, and you can grab those in the guides section under the in the groups, under the guides tab in the group. So if you're not a part of the private group, the link is right there. I will drop that also.
And Gary, I want to add something to that too. When it comes to the private group, because that's where people are getting, really good access to both Gary and myself. And part of the reason that it's a private group is because we want to be able to focus our time and our energy on the questions that you have or the comments that you have. It's just not another place to put up memes and have, fun, this makes me feel good for 30 seconds. This is a place for growth. This is a place where you'll find that, we are very serious about what we do. And so, if you're not part of the group and you like what you're seeing, but you have more questions, then join the group.
Yeah, and the group it's a place for people who don't want to be on the sideline. It's people who want to actually do this stuff and create change. Every day, we see the stuff that's going on in the media, or we hear about it from people we speak with, and we need this stuff. We need to have more people, on the path of creating shifts, change, and adjustment into choice. As so many choices are being taken away, we need to be more in a place of resourcefulness and choicefulness in order to create the future and the infinity matrix that we prefer, right? And that doesn't happen by sitting on the side and letting things happen to you.
That's the very truth.
So get in on the group, and it's been running along the bottom here on the ticker as well. So facebook.com/groups/the Infinity Matrix. I also posted it in the comments section, and and so remember also that on. When you get to there are 3 questions you need to answer, 3 entry questions that'll automatically accept you into the group. If you don't answer that, the system's going to boot you out, which means it may delay you if you even get into the group. Because that means that it has to be done by a manual process, and sometimes those get missed, and sometimes it's just we don't have time to get to them.
And the reason for the questions is we want to know you're serious.
Yeah.
It's the first step to filtering out. I mean, you get a lot of spammers and trolls and all this kind of stuff as well, and it helps filter those out. But it also shows that hey, I'm serious about, I really want to make some changes in my life, and that's the only place that we go where we're actually, with the exceptions of all the places that the stream goes on today. But that's where you have access. This isn't an assistant that answers the questions for us or anything like that. This is us. And so we had to focus all of our attention into one area, just so that we can deliver better quality time and answers for everyone. So very important, if that's what you want.
Yeah. All right. So till next time, we will be well and take the leap into the unknown. Hack your infinity matrix and master the art of designing your reality. That's what we're here for.
So when people are learning to on a tightrope, they start with a beam sitting on the ground. Okay, well, we're a little bit above the ground now, and as we progress and as people get more involved in the groups that and the programs that we do, we just keep taking that beam higher up, and that's how it works. So the group that we've got, it's a safe space, and we'll just you're going to progress at your own pace.
It's a great community, so we look forward to seeing you in there. Cool. Also on Saturday morning, again, I'm going to throw that up.
Yeah, last week was a blast. Last week was a lot. Yeah.
All right, and we'll see you on Saturday, and we'll also next week's